Well, folks, welcome to the first ever episode of The Naked Financial Truth. Woo! You may be asking yourself, what are we doing here? Well, hopefully we'll illuminate that in the next 10 minutes or so, but I am Coach Pete, an investment advisor, been in the financial arena for 28 and a half years, been in the media world for 16, joined with my buddy Matt. Matt, say hi to everybody. Tell them about yourself.
Welcome, everyone. Matt Nicosia, been involved in finances, both with public and private companies for the past 20, 25 years, building companies, and we know the naked truth. And one of our partners and our main investor is also an individual who's been around forever, knowing this market well, our another Rocky Reiniger.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the first episode of Naked Financial Truth. My background is I came out as an educator, a coach, segued into so I know a lot about that industry, some of the fallacies and fables and lies that we can show on education today, mathematically, academically, and financially, as a former coach and recruiter. And I segued into the financial industry where I've been for the last 35 years, active in an assortment of markets, good, bad, ugly, evil, corrupt, which we're going to shed light on today. And I'm happy and excited to be here for our first episode. Turn it back over to our man Pete.
Matt, let's introduce the sponsor of the show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor of our first show is none other than the Holy Grail, Coach Pete's Wine, special wine for everybody. We highly recommend it, as especially comes from a wonderful place in Napa Valley. Also, our co-sponsor is
Coach Pete's First Down Wine. There's no better feeling if you're playing football than watching your team get a first down. So we got the First Down Wine, another Napa
Valley special.
Meritage, which means mix of Cabernet, Merlot, all the other good stuff that's out there, all in one great bottle. If you want a bottle, all you have to do is come see me, and you could probably leave with one.
Or go to thenakedfinancialtruth.com and support our sponsors.
That's right. Well, Matt, the financial world is a very, very scary place if you don't know what's going on. So we figure we've stripped down what's going on and illuminate some of the things we don't like.
Yes, we decided that the truth is naked. If we have our clothes on, if you have the regulators, you've got the everything around you which makes it fake, we decided to give you a real chance to see the naked truth, or the naked financial truth. What does it really look like underneath, and what it really is? Because once you find out what it really is, your eyes are open to something you may not like, but also something you might like. Isn't that true, Coach Pete?
Illuminating it, man, making sure that we see what's going on. One of the things that really gets my chickens roosting is the fact that there's certain individuals in the market that like to do what's called shorting a stock. And Rocky, I know you're very adamant about identifying shorters and the dirty tricks that shorters play. There's nothing wrong with shorting, that's the part of the game, but the dirty tricks of shorting is something that needs to be talked about.
Right, dirty tricks. Good point, Pete. Yeah. There's two sides of the market. There's the bid, there's the ask, and especially these sophisticated, intelligent level 3 traders have a significant edge on us common investors. What that looks like is whatever they want to look like. They can do things you couldn't even possibly fathom, with creating a box on a stock, leaning on the short side of a stock, double boxing in, hypothecating stock. One market maker lets another maker market have a stock available. We just went through an experience where there was a broker at a friend's house have stock for borrow, and it created an entire perception that stocks for borrow, all the sellers came in, driving the stock down 300%. Now this is commonplace. Another associate of ours, we thought, was doing failure to deliver. He would short the stock and not deliver, being naked in the market against his own clients that were buying from him. And this is a registered broker-dealer.
Wow.
And he walked away paying a fine after making millions and millions of dollars. How about Wells Fargo? Make a gazillion, probably $500 million, pay a fine, and receive a gift of over $20 million for a retirement package. That's naked.
Well, let's talk about what a short is. For anyone who's watching who's maybe a novice in investing, explain just in the general terms what shorting a stock means.
Shorting a stock is selling a stock you don't own to buy it back at hopefully a lower price in the future.
Yeah, so the person who's shorting is benefiting by a stock going down.
Goes down, he wins.
What I love to see is the tables turned on the shorters, and when the stock that they're shorting, hoping it goes down, in effect goes up. And then they have to scramble to fill that short.
Cover the short,
Yeah,
correct.
Short squeeze, we call
and
it.
that, a short squeeze can be, and Matt and I have orchestrated a few. They're very delicate. They're very comprehensive, and they can be pulled off. The problem is, between us, we have 50 years together in the business, and we can understand how to do it. It's an engineering game, but the average investor has no chance against these shorts. And they flourish in the OTC markets. Flourish.
And that's a good point. Rocky, you brought something up very important. The average investor is the one that gets hurt. Why? Because they're the ones that are buying. They don't have the power to short like most of these level 3 these brokers do. These brokers, when they short, they're gonna sell to you, the average person, and then buy back at a lower price after they've pushed down the stock based on market manipulation and fear. That's the naked truth. I mean, you look at us. We could be naked underneath here. You have no idea.
How do you know?
But we're giving you everything.
Full disclosure.
But
Transparent. We're also transparent.
No pun intended.
But the point is this. What they don't tell you is you're the ones that are getting hurt. When you buy a stock, when you do it, you get hurt because they don't plan on holding. They plan on making you resell at a lower price to bring it down. The other key piece, Coach P, is they put what's called hypothecation. They will allow for a stock to be oversold by 140% until there's forced coverage. There's what's called the DTC, the Depository Trust Corporation. They hold all of the stocks of every single exchange in America. They don't force coverage till 140% have been sold. And even then, depending who you are, if you're a bank or whatever you are, they still don't force coverage. And some of these brokers, well, like Rocky said, the failure to deliver, FTD, a major issue, they'll pass that off to an overseas account. Next thing you know, it's trading around the world. That's the naked truth of this. You do not have, as a person in America buying a stock in equity, a level playing field, the naked truth. And that's what we don't like.
There's a lot of psychological warfare, in other words, isn't it? To psych the person who's buying a stock and holding it long term, to psych them into thinking that no one else wants that stock, so they should get rid of it just like everybody else is.
Correct.
Complete psychological warfare, whether it be putting out a short report, whether it be putting up red flags, whether it be pushing the volume down, synthetically hyperinflated, all to create a panic in the normal person to sell. They win when you sell lower, when they can sell back to you. And that is the naked financial truth.
And I'm pretty sure this exists today, but it's like you have two broker dealers, they're both short. They're selling to each other back and forth to make it look like a lot of activities going on, but they're just selling like playing ping pong. I call it BD ping pong. I'm going to short over here, you're going to buy it back, you're going to sell it to me. Like you're basically playing with each other to make the stock look like it's high volume,
right,
and it's on the downside, even though it's the same share being sold all over the place.
And that is illegal. And yes, FINRA, the SEC, they do enforce that. The problem is there's so much going on
that they don't have enough time to do everything.
They don't have enough time to protect everybody, which is why we here at the Naked Financial Truth push for transparency, truth in transaction, confidence in transaction, ways that we believe the future will be, which is a transparent, naked truth, just like how we are here today.
So it's hurting a lot of individual investors, and that's the main thing. You got the guys with the big money that are playing the game, taking it down, letting people bring it back up, taking it down again. I mean, it's an ingenious way to make a lot of money if you have enough money to sit around and play that game. But I mean, it's not fair to the individual investor. And actually, Dodd-Frank was supposed to prevent a lot of this stuff, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was to protect the average investor.
Yes, it's
but
not
who
very
does it
thoughtful.
hurt, Rocky? Who does it hurt?
Common investor.
Yeah. That's the scary part about supposedly
investor.
Congress on our side. Are they really on our side, or who's
They're on their side.
Yeah.
They're on the side of the guy in a trading desk, level 3, that can box a stock in.
Yep.
And hypothecate a stock put a stock out for borrow, bang.
Explain the boxing of a stock, because I mean, I think people would be interested in hearing
Boxing
about
a stock in means you're on two sides of the market.
Right.
You're short and you're long, and you're preferably it's called a short box, where you load up on the short side, you're covered, you're hedged, but then the pressure keeps going. So when they see a short box, they'll load up on the short side.
because they know.
They know.
Yep.
Because they all, well, not all, but a lot of them work together like a band of thieves.
It's a nice little gang going on.
Oh, what a game.
Yep. They don't have to make too much every day, but they make money every day
They
because
make
they do that
thousands
psychological
of
warfare.
dollars every
Yep.
day by boxing a short. There was a fellow, I'll give you the name, Jim Alexander created the box. And out there right now are a lot of students of Alexander who have been extremely successful in boxing and stocking. A matter of fact, to survive it, you had to have a specialist from that world know how to get around a box.
So how do you bust out of the box? That's what we need.
Box
to know.
out of a box.
Yep.
Well, you got to have an expert.
Okay.
You got to have an expert that understands.
So
the
buying
intricacies.
doesn't help a lot of
No,
times.
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It feeds the box actually sometimes.
Yeah, because you're giving it more.
You're giving, you're buying, you're selling, and they load.
It's a complex subject, but it's really not that complex, is it, Matt?
It's actually not complex.
Yep.
It was actually instituted when the DTC was incorporated back in the early 19th century. When they were doing transactions of certificates, they had paper certificates. So they would give you 3 days and allow for a 40% overselling to wait till the certificates came back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have instant transaction covered. There's no need for T+3. There should be instant transactions. There should be no hypothecation because we have systems and computers today that are set up now that allow for that type of to happen.
Yeah.
There does not need to be hypothecation nor the transaction plus 3. There's no settlement time
The
needed.
T+3 is an outdated, complex ideology now because I mean you press a button, you make a trade. What do you need to wait 3 days for?
But what it does do, it allows the shorters to wait 3 days, to pass it off, to do different things, to
Right.
cause a market manipulation.
Wow.
Without the true transaction is the buyer and the seller, not everybody in between. The problem is in today's world, you have the people in between
Yeah.
controlling it.
Yeah.
That work together and whisper to their buddy.
Yeah.
The buddy.
So what is this, if someone out there is watching and they suspect that maybe their stock is caught in this box, this short box we're talking about, what should someone do?
Nothing.
Not much to do, right?
Can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't buy into it
Nah.
because you're just supplying the
Can't do anything. You're
feeding the
stuck.
animal,
You're
basically.
trapped. You're kidnapped.
So, but then you don't want to really sell it. If you really like the stock, you don't want to sell the stock.
Weather
either.
the storm.
Yeah, just set it and forget
Whether,
it.
or
Don't pay attention to it.
or get close
Yep.
to a trader who understands how to go and break up a box and trade around the box.
Yeah.
Find the right guy or girl that understands that mechanism.
And Coach Pete, one thing interesting that Rocky has taught and that you have taught for years is look at the fundamentals of the company.
Yeah.
Right.
Does the company have true assets? Are they progressing? Be a long-term investor, not a short-term investor when it comes to those things.
Well, long-term investing back in the day when I started in the arena was 10 years or longer. That was long-term. Nowadays it's 10 minutes or less because people don't have the patience, unfortunately. But you need to have patience if you believe in a company. Keep supporting the company.
Right.
Meet with the officers of the company. Make sure you believe in them. Right? You can learn a lot meeting somebody.
Right.
But more importantly, if you believe in the concept, keep investing in the concept.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is how you
Yep.
can weather the storm if a company can last. And the problem, like Rocky says, a lot of these companies
They have to have some
don't
cash.
get out of the box
Yep.
and they can't progress,
Yep.
which we believe long term will be changing.
Well,
Hopefully, with all the things with blockchain, the events of
Oh, that too.
technology, that'll change that.
We'll deal with a company that doesn't depend on their stock price being up to stay in business.
Absolutely
Right?
correct.
Right, that is
Can't get financing.
self-sufficient, right? And you want a company
Can't
that's
get
making
support.
their own money. But if you're making your own money as a company, you don't really need to sell stock anymore.
Right,
It's the
right,
basic thing about
right,
it. So, hey, if you want to find out more information about what we're about here, and then just making sure, maybe you want us to talk about a subject you want to learn about, go to the nakedfinancialtruth.com, and you might see your subject talked about next time.
Once again,
Anything
thank
else,
you,
guys?
the
Yes.
Naked Financial
Naked Truth, baby.
Woo!